Some philosophers have likened life to a school and have said that so long as we are alive, we will ever be learning. Today, we'll be looking at the concept remaining teachable and how we can apply certain aspects to our lives that will help us remain teachable. Welcome to Health for the Spirit, Soul, and Body podcast, where we teach simple concepts and practical ideas we can apply to our whole being to keep us in good health. Before we go on, please support us by taking a few seconds to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more messages. I'll be starting by looking at an interesting story about a decision I made in my final year of medical school. The interesting thing about it is that after I had spent 6 years studying and learning in med school, close to my final year, I looked at all I had gone through, what I was going through at that time, and looked at my classmates from secondary school who went to who did other courses. Some of them were managers in companies. They had finished a 4-year course and they already had vehicles. And I was still in school. And so I made a decision that since it took me so long and the stress was so much, that once I graduate from medical school, that will be the end of studying. I would not read another book again. And this was a decision that when I look back at it, I laugh because how wrong I was. Because a few years later, I decided to specialize and found that I had to read even more. And so, life, so long as we are alive, we will be learning. Today, we will just look at two aspects or two concepts that will help us remain teachable, because those who are ever learning will forever increase in life. One of these concepts is for us to constantly look out for opportunities to learn from everyone and every situation, no matter who the person is. And I have, in looking at this concept, found out that we could learn from even kindergarten children and learn from babies. One simple lesson we learn from children is that when they are trying something new, when they are, like, for example, a child of about 1 year old learning to walk, no matter what happens, they keep trying until they succeed. And so they get up, they try to walk, take a few steps, and fall. Immediately, they get up again and try. And they keep trying until they master it. Now, one thing we can learn from here is that the first time we try to do something, the first times we attempt something we are not used to, it is possible that we may fail, we may fall. And so we should try and try again. And this is a lesson we can learn even from babies and children. Now, going on with this concept, we see in the Bible, in Numbers chapter 22, verses 28 to 30, that because of how stubborn a prophet became, a prophet called Balaam, he had to be spoken to by a donkey before he learned what he needed to learn. Let me read. And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam, what have I done unto thee, that thou hast smitten me these 3 times? And Balaam said unto the ass, because thou hast mocked me, I would there was a sword in my hand, for now I will kill thee. And the ass said unto Balaam, am I not thine ass, upon which thou hast ridden ever since I was thine unto this day? Was I ever word to obstruct thee in any way? I paraphrase that. And he said, nay. Now, the story is very interesting. Balaam, who is supposed to be a prophet of God, because of money, he was going against the things of God. The Lord was trying to reach him. There was even danger in front of him. Because of his love for money, he couldn't see the danger. The only way he could learn his lesson was when the donkey spoke to him. And the interesting thing about it is that instead of him to be shocked when the donkey spoke to him, he was still corresponded speaking and answering the donkey. I find that quite fascinating. But like I said, you can learn from anybody, anything, and any situation. A second concept I want us to look at is the concept of receiving when an opportunity to learn comes. Of course, like we said initially, you can learn from anybody. But many times when the opportunity to learn comes, we don't put ourselves in a position that we can receive. An example, especially that has happened to me less now than when I was a young Christian. As a young Christian, it happened a lot. When a pastor gets on the pulpit and is beginning ministers about something that we know or we have already overcome in our lives, we think the pastor is great. We say, tell them, preach on, pastor, and say a lot of interesting things. We are excited. We say, this pastor is talking to me. But then the moment he begins to preach about something we are doing wrong, something that we haven't overcome, we take offense. And sometimes, like I thought once, I thought that a particular pastor had spies looking out for any situation of error I made, and they go and report to him so that when he comes on Sunday, he will preach. But I know that the Spirit of God is one, and that God being around while I was doing those things is the one that spoke to the pastor. And so it is important that when such an opportunity to come, to learn comes, we should receive. And so when there is a word of correction in the concept or situation, like I've said a few minutes ago, we should receive it gratefully. Proverbs chapter 9 verses 8 to 9 says, reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. I believe that we are wise. And so it's important that when these lessons come, we should receive them. The way to receive them most of the time is the same application that we can use to even learn from people who are against us, who attack us. How can we do this? What to do is that instead of reacting against that person who said something that touches us that we need to do something about, we should ask ourselves a few questions which will help us put it into context. First of all, either the person attacking us or the person that said something that is upsetting us, is the thing they have said right? That's the first question. The second question we need to answer, does the thing they said, does it agree with the word of God? If it agrees, then we need to take note. Is there a change that I need to make in that circumstance? If the answer is yes to these questions, then it's important for us to make a change. And this has really helped me in life. When I discovered this concept, I apply it. When I hear something that touches me, that pinches me at the wrong point, I question my life, I check myself, and I see if there are adjustments that I can make to make myself better. And I find that I'm growing, because the next time this comes, I find that I've corrected, and I would, if I want, be among those who will say, preach on, pastor, or go on, preacher. But it's important that we apply any of these lessons we get to our lives, such even when we face antagonism. Nobody likes to be corrected. It usually touches on our ego. But if we make up our minds that we'll receive whatever correction we get and will remain teachable, then we will grow tremendously and will improve in life in a way that is satisfactory. And so I say again, let us remain teachable, that we will grow in life. If you gained something from this teaching, don't forget to like it, subscribe to our channel, and share with others. Thank you.